Hello. As I record this video, my father's being laid to rest in the state of Arkansas. I chose not to go because, like I stated in an earlier video, we weren't speaking at the time. And I won't get into why we weren't speaking. But I felt as though that I was able to get a lot of things off my chest and on my mind that have been on there since I was a teenager up until womanhood. And like I stated, he said that those things that I was saying weren't true. But he finally realized towards the end that everything I was saying was true. And he gave me a sign for me to know that he had started seeing the truth. And he wasn't no more into denial of what I was saying, which I knew all along. I was standing my ground. The Creator and I knew. But like I stated before, my father was a man who loved life. He loved life. He loved to laugh. He loved to crack jokes. That's where I get it from. I love to laugh. I love to crack jokes. I love joy. I love to see people happy. I'm always going to love to see people winning, no matter what the situation or circumstances is with me, emotionally or financially. That's just not my spirit to not love people genuinely and want to see them win. That's just not how I'm made up, you know. And my father was the same way. So he passed that along to me, which I'm grateful for. But like I said, he didn't have to go out the way he went out. Had a lot of life in him. Had a lot more living to do. We had some deep conversations. And there were so many other things he wanted to do in this next chapter of his life when he retired. And he wasn't able to do. When you're in a relationship, and I don't care how long you have been married, if you've been married 30-something, 40-something years, and you starting to no longer want to be in denial, or you no longer want to disregard things for the benefit of the person because of the things that you have done in the earlier part of the marriage or during the marriage. After all that bullshit is just like, this is just bullshit. I'm not going to allow someone to, what do they say? Convict, trial, and sentence me. I remember Dr. Phil. We all remember Dr. Phil used to come on after Oprah, or I think he came on before Oprah. We know Dr. Phil, right? Phil McGraw. Yeah, I think it's Phil McGraw. And I remember Dr. Phil was saying to this one person, because they couldn't let their past go because they felt as though other people wouldn't let their past go. But they was now a beautiful human being that have repented and, they paying their dues in life and they're just a good human being. And Dr. Phil said, never allow anyone to convict you, trial, and sentence you. And I have never, ever forgotten that. And when you're in a relationship, sometimes we allow people to convict us, put us on trial, and then sentence us due to guilt, right? A large part of it is due to guilt. But how many times through your behavior, you have to continue to show a person that, look, I'm not with all that no more. This is my life now. And I'm happy where I'm at. And I like sharing where I'm at with you. And I like being in this space and being in this space, sharing this space with you. And if a person still wants to hold on to resentment for whatever reason and hang on in there just because they're hoping that you'll get yours, and they're hoping that the get yours is in death, LEAVE, capital letters. Do you understand me? Let me spell it again. LEAVE is what you need to do for your mental state, for your sanity. When you know you have worked 50 something, 60 something years of your life, and you die in your late 70s, and you still had a lot of life. And everyone around town, everyone around the state, everyone around the surrounding states know you and know of you, that you were a go-getter, that you were a gangster for life. I mean, you would drive all the way to Louisiana just to get their Creole seasoning. I mean, you was gangster. I mean, you worked your behind off. You worked doubles and triples. You did what you had to do for your family. You was a good provider. You know what I mean? You living your best life. To drive all the way to Louisiana, look, I feel like I'm on some seafood. I'm going to go all the way down to Louisiana to get me some Creole seasoning. You're responsible. You put 75, 80, 85, 100 something dollars, 200 something dollars in your gas because you got this big old truck. You living a life. You can go fishing whenever you want. Do not choose to spend the rest of your days because of guilt with someone that continues to have resentment towards you. Because I can guarantee you, you'll start to see and hear when you watch people, they would rather see you dead. DEAD, capital DEAD, than to see you away from them. Being happy, getting a new chance at life, being able to exhale. They spend the rest of their days making sure that you're convicted of a crime. Then they're going to put you on trial. Then they're going to sentence you. I think I got it in a different order, y'all. I think is it trial, convicted, then sentence? Y'all know what I mean. Trial, convicted, and sentence, or sentence, sentence. No, I mean, y'all know what I mean. I used to get it right all the time. I can't remember. Y'all know what I mean. I think it's trial, convicted, and sentence. Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know, I'm just saying. You know, don't allow people to put you in that situation and circumstances. No one deserves this. You know what I mean? And especially if you wasn't a rapist, if it's not due to you being a rapist, a mass murderer, a child molester, a pedophile, you know, brutally bank robber, putting a gun up to a pregnant woman's head, shooting a pregnant woman, blowing people's brains out over money in the bank. I mean, there's certain situations, circumstances, then you don't even bother with those people after, unless you are their parents. You can choose to be bothered with your child or children if that's what you like. Nobody's gonna condemn you for that. They shouldn't, you know, because you still got a right to love your child or children. But if it's for being a knucklehead in your younger days, laying up, laying around, doing your thing, swinging your thing, you know, drinking, smoking, going out partying, and you've grown up from that, and you've shown, even when you was doing that, you still was responsible. What the hell seems to be the problem? Especially when you're sharing life with someone who call themselves into the creator. You can't be. Because even the creator gives you the chance and the desire to seek out the spirit of discernment. I mean, it's in the scriptures. I mean, you've been knowing the Bible since you was like 2 or 3. You were raised up in the church, your entire family. So they know that they can lead. Why stay with a person and you just want to see them suffer? My father, from what I can see by some of the pictures that was sent to me, he's having a nice send-off. Yeah. He's having a nice send-off. Mm-hmm. The casket is nice. He looks really nice. He looks really nice. The people did a really good job with him. He looks really, really nice. But having a life and living a life well lived and having a good send-off, it's not the same as he didn't have to go out like that. He just didn't put all that into the universe and do all that work in doubles and triples for him to go out the way he did. That's what we're talking about, the way he went out. Yeah, his send-off is nice. But the way he went out, that wasn't him. That's not the way he would have wanted his legacy. And any man who's been around my father will tell you that that is not the way he would have wanted to go out. No. So you guys have to just choose your mate. It's not about looks. It's not about weight. It's not about finances. It's about, as you get older and elderly, how is that person going to respond to you? Are they still resentful from something that happened in y'all early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, 40s? It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Live your best life. And that's what I'm talking about. I remember this older gentleman said to me, and I said this today or yesterday. An older gentleman said to me, he was telling me he was retired and he was telling me how he lives his best life, him and his wife and all his buddies that he'd been knowing for a while and their wives, and they all get together and they go on cruises together. They have card games and they take turns having card games at each other's house, and they play for big time money, and they're there until 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And even these elderly ladies, they're there with their husbands. And I said, they there with you all? Oh my goodness. They be up? So I'm surprised to hear that your wives are there as well. He said, ain't no wife gonna not be there with their husband when it comes to all that kind of money, especially if he wins. The wife is gonna follow the husband in the money. And I thought about that. And I said, well, what do the women be doing? And he said to me that they all be in the kitchen. They're always in the kitchen, just chit-chatting, just women. And they just living their best life as well. And all the men be gambling. And I mean, the pot be big. It'd be like 10, 12, 15, $20,000. This is a group of people. They do everything together. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Good for you. I said, you really are enjoying your retirement. He said, Sue, darling. He said, this is real life. Once you get off the merry-go-round, ain't no getting back on. Once you get off the merry-go-round, ain't no getting back on. You have to live your life to the fullest. And so it doesn't matter if it's a 5-year, 10-year, 20, 30, 40, 50-year marriage, leave, get out. Especially if the children are older. There's no excuse. Go find you someone else that you can enjoy the rest of your days with. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because remember when we were children and we used to get on and off on the merry-go-round and mommy, daddy. It's a lot of mommies though being called. Mommy, look at me. And we would go from horsey to horsey. Remember, the post. Oh, we just had a good old time. And I'm 57, but those of you who are my age group and older or several years younger than me, you know what I'm talking about. And remember, we used to jump off as it go around. And then what was this thing we had going on? We loved to try to jump on it as it was going around. I mean, as kids, I can see it to this day, as of now, as I'm speaking to you. I don't know. We just got a kick out of that. We're just children. We're just children. Great childhood memories, creating good childhood memories. But in real life, there's death. Okay? And once you get off the merry-go-round, ain't no getting back on. There's no on and off. There's no mommy, daddy, grandma, auntie, uncle, cousin, Candy Sue, look at me. And you have to be careful for those of us who want to share our lives with someone, who wants to grow older with someone, especially me. Okay? So just choose wisely. I love you. Be well. Be safe. Teardrops.